How many of you here in the audience have had a bout of diarrhea or stomach upset ever in your life? Could you raise your hands, please? If you have had, yeah? Okay, so almost 80% of the hands are up. Now let me tell you a simple science, a biology, that if you look at shit, you don't get diarrhea. Do you get it? You don't. If you smell shit, you don't get it. If you touch shit and wash your hands with soap, you don't get it. You got to eat shit. Scientifically, it has to go inside your system. Is there anyone who defecates in the open? No. So we all use toilets and we use toilets and our shit is safely confined. But then why did we get the diarrhea? Because we ingested shit of those who defecate in the open. And it's in the environment which is polluted, contaminated, and through different ways it's coming back to us. This is a great school, a great college. I heard about it so much, never came here before. Today I was driving in and I saw when you drive to the school, you pass the both sides of the road, thousands of people, living in shanties and places and all that, and the dirty water flowing. Do you think they all have access to safe sanitation? I don't think. So we have worked in so many slums in Calcutta. People, particularly the women and children, the worst victims of open defecation. And they have to use plastic bags, the women, and they have to shit in the plastic bag, tie it up and throw here and there, because they have no place to go. And the privacy is not there. It's terrific, but this is not here. All over the world, that's a story. And as a result, 63 million kids and adults are dying, from preventable causes. The diarrhea, particularly diarrhea. Diarrhea alone kills more children and young adults than malaria, AIDS, and TB kills together. Diarrhea alone kills more than that. It's a very, very serious situation, and this is preventable. So now the question is, we are living in a cocoon and we think that I have been using toilet, so I am safe. But then people around us, we do not know that we have been ingesting our neighbor's shit. So the whole question is, unless the entire environment is safe and free from infection, we all are in danger. So I would like to request you to put the video. Just take a look at the video, and then I will come back again, see that, what's there.
We live in a world where 2.4 billion people globally still lack access to basic sanitation. Of them, 946 million defecate in the open. Almost all in developing countries and predominantly in rural environments. Access to toilets is sharply skewed, with the lowest income quintiles having by far the least access and the least improvement over recent decades. Earlier approaches to sanitation prescribed high initial standards and offered subsidies as an incentive. But this often led to uneven adoption, problems with long-term sustainability, and only partial use. The need for sanitation is urgent, and the costs of negligence are high. Here is the story of one such individual who fought the norms of society and peer pressure to emerge as a beacon for community-led activation of open defecation-free environment in her surroundings.
আমাদের এখানে সরকার থেকে কল্যাণীতে অনেক জায়গায় পায়খানা সরকারিভাবে দেওয়া হয়েছিল, কিন্তু অনেকেই ব্যবহার করেন। তা এই কমল কর উনি হঠাৎ একদিন আমাদের এখানে এসেছিল, বলল, আমাদের কয়েকজনকে ডেকে বলল যে শুনলাম যে এরকম পায়খানা টায়খানা করা হয়েছে, সরকার থেকে দেওয়া হয়েছে, সেই পায়খানাগুলো আপনারা কী করছেন? তা যাদের দেওয়া হয়েছিল অঞ্চল টঞ্চল দিয়ে আর কি, কল্যাণীর মধ্যেই অঞ্চল টঞ্চল দিয়েই দিয়েছিল, পঞ্চায়েতের মধ্যে। তা সেইগুলো ওদের বললাম যে এগুলো ওরা ব্যবহার করে না, ওরা হাঁস মুরগি তারপর এই সমস্ত রাখে, খড়ি ঠড়ি রাখে, মানে জ্বালানি এগুলো রাখে, ওগুলো অনেকেই ব্যবহার করে না। আমরা আমাদের এখানে বিদ্যাসাগর কলোনিতে কোনো পায়খানাই নেই কারোর বাড়িতে। আমরা মাঠে ঘাটেই যাই, মাঠে ঘাটে আমাদের পায়খানা বাথরুম সবই মাঠে ঘাটে যেতে হয়।
India, where half the population still defecates in the open. Lack of basic sanitation is a major killer, as diarrhea kills more than AIDS, malaria and tuberculosis combined, killing around 2.2 million people each year. Though most countries achieved their MDG target on water, this has not been reflected in the MDG goal on access to sanitation. Provision of water without adequate access to sanitation hasn't shown much impact in the reduction of diarrheal deaths. The global MDG target for sanitation has been missed by almost 700 million people, which is alarming. Even though the MDG on sanitation was missed, during this period, some countries did something truly remarkable. Community-led total sanitation, or CLTS, is an innovative methodology for mobilizing communities to completely eliminate open defecation, or OD, which is achieved through a process of collective local action, stimulated by facilitators from within or outside the community. At the heart of CLTS lies the recognition that merely providing toilets does not guarantee their use, nor result in improved sanitation and hygiene. Let us have a look at what makes CLTS different. The dramatic difference in countries where CLTS is practiced, like Bangladesh, Nepal, Indonesia, Zambia, Madagascar, Mali, and Kenya, are through no upfront hardware subsidies, but empowering communities. Focus on collective behavior change rather than building toilets. Counting open defecation free, or ODF communities rather than counting toilets. Bringing out the community and institutional role of creating an enabling environment.
বলাতে আমরা কমিটি হলো, কমিটি হওয়ার পরে আমরা ম্যাপ করলাম CLTS এর মাধ্যমে। ম্যাপ করে কোথায় জঙ্গল, কোথায় পায়খানা হয়, কোথায় পরিষ্কার থাকে, কার বাড়ি কিভাবে পায়খানা হয়, ম্যাপ করে কাগজ যার যার বাড়িতে মানে ছোট ছোট ঘর করলাম, ম্যাপের মধ্যে ছোট ছোট ঘর করে সেইখানে আমরা বাড়ির নাম দিয়ে আমরা সেইখানে করলাম।
CLTS as a process is preceded by what is known as defecation mapping, where the community comes forward to mark out areas where they defecate and where they source their water from. This is a community-led activity where all the members participate actively. From a humble beginning in 2000, the community-led total sanitation approach has now spread to more than 65 countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. 40 million people globally are living in open defecation-free environments as a result of CLTS. CLTS has grown so much in popularity that the national sanitation policy of nearly 35 countries have adopted CLTS.
CLTS was introduced in Kenya by Plan Kenya in May 2007. It was officially launched by the Ministry of Health in 2009. In 2010, the CLTS roadmap was developed. There is also the Kenya Environmental Sanitation and Hygiene Policy 2015 to 2030, which emphasizes on CLTS as an approach to eradicate open defecation. The county government of Kitui has adopted CLTS as a key strategy to attain environmental sanitation and hygiene. As a result, His Excellency Dr. Julius Malombe, the Governor of Kitui County, officially launched Open Defecation Free campaign on 3rd July 2014. The county government of Kitui has institutionalized CLTS through developing a county-level CLTS strategy, which outlines key steps to attain ODF status by December 2016.
The SDG goal on water and sanitation hopes to achieve access to adequate and equitable sanitation and hygiene for all. and end open defecation, paying special attention to the needs of women and girls and those in vulnerable situations by the year 2030. To eliminate open defecation by 2030, one of the Sustainable Development Goals, the current rates of reduction will have to double, especially in South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa.
Finally, to attain ODF status in a country or a county, everyone must be triggered, including the top leadership. In Kitui, we are all triggered. Thank you.
There are millions like her whose lives are waiting to be changed by community-led total sanitation. Can the nations make the right move now to fast-track an open defecation-free world?
You have seen in this video that merely constructing toilet, is not enough. It doesn't help unless there is behavior change. It's not individual behavior change, it's collective behavior change. India is one country where, as you know, that the Swachh Bharat mission, which is one of the largest sanitation program of the whole world, the Prime Minister's top priority program, Swachh Bharat mission. And this SBM is mobilizing huge resources and which has already constructed millions of toilets, which is a great move. But at the same time, surveys have found that more than 35 to 40% of the toilets are not being used for the purpose they were built. And you have seen that you will see many that the toilets have been constructed, but they are used for different other purposes, keeping chicken and this and that and materials, storing materials. Some places it is the study room of the kid. And different kind, somewhere it is a shop selling, it's a kiosk, selling those mobile SIM cards and stuff and all that. It's all sort of things. Open defecation is still continuing. Wherever they're being used, also being used by the women and the children and the adults still going outside. Partial usage and partial coverage of sanitation is not enough unless it is total. Because as I told you that, and you all know that we are living in an environment that needs to be totally free from open defecation. We have been all using a bottle of water. You have been using. Why that? But if you go to Europe, you go to the United States and many developed countries, you can just drink water from anywhere. But this water, we are scared that if we use this water, we might, ingest shit. So it's not safe that way. This is a school where all the children from the better off families, they're coming in here. Please visit a school near to you, a corporation school or a government school. Children are children, They are also somebody's children. Go to village, rural areas. Talk to the kids and ask them, when did you have your last bout of diarrhea? They will all tell you, oh yeah, 6 months back, 1 year back. Life goes on. But remember that if a kid below 5 years or 10 years, if they have 4 or 5 bouts of diarrhea, they become stunted. And the mental stunting is dangerous even. So millions of such young boys and girls with a stunted mindset and stunting, they are growing in our country. What kind of nation are we producing? So putting all these things together, it's a trillions of dollars equivalent of loss, a country is incurring, mainly because of poor sanitation. And stopping open defecation and just washing hands with soap makes a huge difference. It costs the nation a massive amount of money. So that's possible. Initiatives are being done, but it has to go to private sector, it has to go to the privileged society and to young children like all of you and all of us and your teachers to convince people, to help them that this is a good health, is an asset. And the poor people, their asset is their health. Not for poor people, for everyone, as a matter of fact. So that is something that we really need to keep it in mind. And community-led total sanitation is empowerment of community. I had developed this approach in Bangladesh back in 2000, and I didn't know that people, when they were doing this map and everything, and they were putting all yellow powders where they defecated in the open today, the whole map became yellow. They said, they were all laughing, laughter all stopped. and they realized, they said, oh my God, what the hell are we doing? We are living in shit. Our kids are growing on shit. Then they said, we must stop it. That was the beginning. It is now spreading all over Africa, Asia, and Latin America, as you have seen. If we could play the role, India is still topping the list of the countries in the world in terms of open defecation. Stunting is very, very high in our country, and undernutrition, child mortality, we are all very high as compared to, of course, our population is also very high. Some 6.3 million people, children and young adults, they're dying. 160 million the people by 2017, they were stunted, and all sorts of things are happening. We have missed the MDG target, the Millennium Development Goal target of halving the open defecation of the whole world. Now the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goal 6.2, it says that we will have a world with no open defecation by 2030. 2030 is open defecation free world. If we have to produce, we have to achieve that target, we have to produce many open defecation free nations, and very soon. Now the question is, India has decided that by 2nd October 2019, this year, our country will be declared open defecation. But declaring open defecation, to what extent that is true? Because as I said, merely constructing toilets is not ensuring open defecation. Because toilets you construct, but where the main question is, if there is behavior change, whether that is being used or not being used, and used by the entire family is a question. And the indicator for that has to be a good health outcome. The number of patients, diarrhea patients in the hospitals and health centers must drop down, and the stunting rate must change, a lot of other things, health issues. So this is a very, very important, and this can be achieved by community-led total sanitation. And now many countries all over the world have been using it. And remember that every second, 7, 8 big bathtubs is filled up with human shit is being spread in the environment. We are living in that kind of a situation, and our contribution is pretty high in that. So saying you all these things, that to all the children, I'm saying that you are the future of the nation, and you will be in different parts of the world. Keep this small, simple thing, that if the human shit is not safely confined, or before it is released, if it is not treated, it's going to ruin the whole world. Thank you very much. Thank you.